want to see that leviathan. Kind of do, man. Do I just go there? Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Definitely not forced against my will. Well, it all started on May 14th when Subnautica Below Zero was fully released. I'm a big Subnautica fan, and I actually played the first version of the game for 24 hours straight. That game for sure didn't give me any nightmares. So you can see how happy I was when I heard there was a second version that had even more leviathans. If you have never heard of Subnautica, I do suggest watching my first playthrough of the game, but if not, it's whatever. Subnautica is basically an underwater horror game where you can explore new lands, collect resources, and upgrade your base and machines. And at the end of this 24-hour stream, I was able to beat the entire main storyline and even find some cool Easter eggs. So if you like this content and you want to see more, make sure you're part of the percentage that is subscribed. It's free and you can always change your mind. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to see the whole playthrough, there's a link to my VOD channel down below. There I am, Soxer1, looking fresh as a daisy. Poor Soxer1 doesn't know of the countless jump scares he's gonna have to go through. I jumped into a survival game, and something that I was looking forward to is that this game supposedly has a lot more of a storyline. Turns out something happened to my sister, and I have to go on this planet to find out what that was. No, we're gonna do something stupid, aren't we? This is why people die. Why are you going in there? While trying to land on the planet, we get hit by one of the meteors. What did you think was gonna happen? And then we crash land on the planet. I mean, at this point, I didn't even know if I was playing Subnautica. Enjoy my stay? What? I guess this is it. I have crash landed on a planet, and now I have to survive. The good thing about crash landings in old games is that there's loot all over the place. I didn't watch any trailers or anything on Subnautica Below Zero, and I didn't realize how much they added more to the land part of Subnautica. Which means now you also have to worry how cold you are, which is something new. I did one more quick look around for loot, and now it's time to get out of here. I found an exit out of the area, and I was worried about the cold, but turns out there are these magic flowers that keep you warm. I made my way out of the meteor area, and turns out a pod survived the crash and actually landed over there in the water. I was freaked out of going in the water at first because I thought that would make me even colder, right? But turns out the water is warm, and the only thing you have to worry about in here is your oxygen levels. Well, we're definitely on an alien planet this time again, but this time it looks a little more friendly and inviting, which is kind of nice. Okay, maybe not that nice. And this over here is actually our starting pod. We have our fabricator, which is basically the Minecraft crafting table. This is where I'm going to be crafting most of my stuff, and I can even cook my food here like Mr. Boomerang here. I looked to see if there was anything new, but there was nothing. It looked like I had to go and find the blueprints. I guess it's time to start exploring and get some resources. There was a tutorial going on, but I had over 24 hours in this game. I know where to get my resources. I spent a couple minutes going around before nighttime to get as much titanium and quartz as I can. I got myself this bladderfish, which can be turned into water, but he looks a little more animated than usual when I hold him in my hands. I don't know, it's kind of freaking me out. What is that thing? That thing looks like an underwater donut. Oh, and is that the penguin that I saw on the main screen? Quick fact, that is not a penguin. That is a Pokemon that knows Ice Beam. He froze me? Shit! Oh, I'm an ice cube. I thought I was dead. I was frozen for like 10 whole hours. The nighttime arrived and I was already ready to go back inside, but I saw my boy, the peeper, come back here. I was not gonna stay in the water during the nighttime. I'm just too scared. Using the resources I collected, I got my first crafted item, the knife. Epic! The knife is great because it can be used to get materials that I couldn't get previously, and now I can sort of defend myself. The next thing I wanted to get was the scanner, but that required a battery, which I actually have enough for, which is great. The scanner is like the best thing ever. It allows me to scan fragments, which unlock new items for me to craft. It will also allow me to scan literally anything, like this weird purple plant, or this weird plant over here, which turns out all these plants are completely useless for crafting. Now that I have the scanner, I'm trying to find fragments like this one. This is the first fragment that I found, and it was the sea glider, which was fantastic. This thing is like a portable Lamborghini underwater. On my way back up to get oxygen, I saw these icebergs and these little figurines walking around. Penguins? Happy Feet? Is that you? Pick up? I just kidnapped a child? What am I supposed to do with this thing? Am I just supposed to hold it around? Like, what if the parents get mad and go after me? But I didn't care about the consequences, all right? I was taking this thing home. The only thing I cared about was giving this four-eyed monster a name. Her name was gonna be Candace. Wait, is this a girl or a guy? I actually don't know. New name, it was gonna be Junior, and that was final. I didn't know what to do with Junior, so I just kept him in my inventory, so I used him for good luck. More importantly, if a leviathan came after me, I would use him as bait. Anyway, now that I had had the knife, that also meant I could get new materials such as this creep vine by cutting it all up. That allowed me to craft some fiber mesh that went into a new O2 tank, which was fantastic. This O2 tank gives me an extra 30 seconds of oxygen, which is super helpful. It allows me to stay underwater longer, which means a lot more raw material. And yo, what's this? The final part for the sea glider? That's amazing. That means I can craft it now. But before we went home to craft it, I wanted to assert my dominance on the other penguins. I'm not even joking. After I hit one, the entire sky went red. I'm so sorry. They're coming in numbers. The sky has gone red. I activated the blood moon. Literally, all of them started to attack me. After one of the scariest moments of my life, I decided to go back home to craft the sea glider. And yes, Junior is still with me. After crafting up some materials, I finally had enough. The sea glider. I love this thing so much. You just move so fast with it. Now that we had the portable Lamborghini, I had a new objective pop up, a supply crate just a couple meters away. I was a bit scared though, because there were those ice boys and this other sea creature that started moving towards me. It locked on like a heat-seeking missile. Like, what do you want from me? I got a quick look at it and it said sea monkey, but that's before I got frozen and nearly died again. Monkeys under the water? This is the best game ever made. I decided to mess with it just to see what it's all about. Hi. Oh, what are you doing? What is he? He took the knife! After that crazy experience, I think it was time to see what the supply crate was all about. I made my way onto the ice and I found the supply area and actually came with a new item, a mineral detector fragment. That is something that can be really useful because sometimes it's really hard to find a specific material in Subnautica. So that detector thing is something I'm for sure gonna make. I found this green hole nearby and it kind of looked like Shrek's swamp but underwater. I wanted to discover what was inside, but I had to be careful because my oxygen is not that good. But I learned something new. These like plant things, they replenish oxygen, which is super useful. This allowed me to explore the cave much deeper than usual, especially with the limits of my current oxygen tank. I didn't find anything too crazy though, but it looks like there was some cool things. I just needed to go deeper underwater. And now that we have beacons, I made sure to name it so I know for next time. Back at base, it was time to craft that new thing that we found, the mineral detector. This is pretty sick. You can literally search for any item that you want to get. You can even search for fragments, which is nice, so that means I can find new items. Sadly, the detector didn't pick anything up, but this new area looked kind of cool. I went much deeper than usual thanks to these air pockets, and something weird happened.
What did you say?
Some sort of alien message in Minecraft enchantment table language. Turns out it was a distress call and I had to go 200 meters down to figure out what it was. That's a trick question. Do I actually want to know what's down there? Let the material grind begin, because if we want to go to 200 meters down, we're going to need a better suit or even a sub. I eventually had an entire storage filled with stuff and even some lockers outside. I also had to take more juniors and add them to my collection. Please don't tell anybody about this, all right? This is my secret stash. After a bit of time, I was alerted of a new area called the Delta Station Dock, and it was about 600 meters away. I don't know what I was thinking going during the nighttime. I mean, I couldn't even see. Oh, great. Please don't tell me this is a leviathan area. I mean, what is that thing?
You picked the wrong house, fool!
I don't know what it was, but the thing had some massive chompers, and I wasn't going anywhere near it. I made it on land, and it looks like we made it to like an island. Then I realized those guys in the water, they just wanted to check my vibe check, man. And that's when I was greeted by an old angry lady.
If you can hear this, you're trespassing.
I might be trespassing, but don't worry, I got Junior as protection. But the lady wasn't having it. As I was making my way up the mountain, she jump scared me. Oh.
Stop right there, Altera.
Basically, she thinks we're Altera and she hates Altera. But look at her prawn suit. That's the sickest thing I've ever seen. Please tell me we can make that. She told me to leave her base alone, but then why did she leave me here alone? Of course I'm going in. There was so much stuff in her base, like a map, a coffee machine, a jukebox, even the locker, even a double bed, even though we're alone. And even this ball thing. I mean, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But at the very top of the base was this radar tower, but it seems like I couldn't fix it until a little later in the story. But now we can go back home and start crafting some of the new stuff we got, like the habitat builder. The multi-purpose room is back. I love this thing so much. The multi-purpose room used to be the biggest room in Subnautica, but in Below Zero, I heard there's even a bigger room. But for now, this will be more than enough because we can place lockers all over the place and all the random posters that we collected over our missions. And wait a minute, is that a sea truck? Can we make a truck in Subnautica? And turns out the coffee machine literally makes coffee. And when you drink it, it gives you heat plus 50, so this is gonna be really good when we're gonna be adventuring on land. Does that mean the jukebox would also work? Now that the sock base was done, it was time to get enough resources to make the mobile vehicle bay. This would allow us to make the submarine, but it's not the sea moth anymore. Supposedly, it's an underwater truck. While doing that, turns out there's another location we can go to, and it's the last known place where that grandma was. However, to get there was a little bit dangerous because there were those underwater rat guys all over the place. And there was also a broken down ship. I mean, that might be amazing to get loot in. I tried to make it to this destination, but it was 200 meters down, and there was no chance I would make it with just my oxygen tank. But look at this biome, man. There's like these giant lily pads. While getting the materials here, I had a little bit of a jump scare. Boy, if you don't... Literally moments before disaster. Turns out these rat boys aren't leviathans, but the way they just like clunk their teeth around is really freaky. Nonetheless, I got all the materials I needed, and now I can make the mobile vehicle bay. Funny joke though, I have the mobile vehicle bay, but turns out I don't have any of the blueprints for the so-called sea truck, so I can't even make it. All good though, because using the mineral detector, I can go and find fragments with it. On my way searching, I fought this rat boy a little bit, and I even found the secret alien base, but I couldn't go there yet until I had better oxygen. Turns out the sea truck fragments were actually a lot closer to my base than I thought, and I got it. I got the sea truck. The best part of all this is that I had enough raw materials so I could craft it right away. This thing literally looks like a thick sea moth. I kind of like it. And according to my chat, the reason why it's called the sea track is that I can add compartments to the end of it to make it into a train. Shit, this thing moves quick. Now that we had the sea truck, we can do so many more possibilities because it goes 150 meters down. So I'm going to the place where I couldn't go before, the pilot's last known location. It was a lot easier to see stuff on my way too, and I even found some fragments for an extension part of the sea truck. An aquarium module? I can have an aquarium attached to my sea truck? And since I was deeper underwater, I could see some new creatures like this whale. This whale did a full-on flip. I mean, if you're not subscribed already, you should subscribe right now. When I made my way to the location, there was this weird squid thing protecting the area, but it looks like I have to go way deeper than 200 meters to find whatever I'm looking for down here. I didn't leave empty-handed though, because now I can explore wherever I want, and I found this weird creature. And what's this? A secret hole with a secret base? This base was awesome. I found so many new things like a multi-purpose glass room, a nuclear reactor, and even a water filter system, which is amazing. This is like my favorite machine in Subnautica. Most importantly though, when I return back to base, I can now craft myself an aquarium where I put my boy Junior, so now he has a little home to swim in. But now for the fun part, I never went under the ice glaciers. Like, what is on that side of the ocean? I was able to completely avoid those ice fishes now since I was in a submarine. When I made it to the other side, I kind of wanted to turn back. There were these jellyfish things with eyeballs in them. Oh! I'm so glad that they're not aggressive though, but the good news is that there was land here that I could actually go on. Did I just find the North Pole or something? There was even structures here like it was part of the story, like this weird radar tower. But most importantly, I found an entire bridge. Turns out the bridge is broken, but if I get this hydraulic fluid, it will actually fix the bridge and I can go to the other side. What is on the other side now? That's the question. But it wasn't a dead end. There was another path through the mountains, but I had to be careful because now I have to worry about how cold I'm getting. Luckily, there's these like steam pipes that shoot out heat and I just warm up all the way up. After a bit of walking, I seem to find an actual base. Oh, robotics center? Is this for the prawn suit? Question mark? Oh, this looks interesting. And this is also where my sister worked before she died. I found something super cool, a Snow Fox hover pad. What kind of machine is this? When I went inside, the first thing, no joke, was a robotic penguin. A spy penguin? That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Supposedly, it is a robotic penguin that you can actually control and move around. But the best item we got was the cat poster. Yeah! Not as cool as the cat poster. There was an alien portal just outside, but it doesn't look like I could activate it or anything. After getting everything in the lab, there were still more areas to go explore. Oh, and it turns out that Snow Fox is a bike that I can use on land, which is insane. We also found the blueprints for a cold suit, but it looks like you need snow stalker fur for it. I kept on adventuring out into the cold, and I think I found out what a snow stalker is. I hear something. Oh! What is that? Oh! What? Am I dead? I found out what the snow stalker is, but I needed to take it out because that's how I was gonna get the fur from it. But then I found out he can't go past a certain borderline. You can't get past here. Why is there an invisible barrier? what's the
Stop, let
matter?
me go.
What's the matter? Oh, wow. Oh, you look like my cat. I moved around him as quick as I could, and I actually was able to take him out. Sadly, it turns out the only way to harvest his fur is using that penguin robot that I just discovered recently, so that means I have to go back to my base and craft it. I would just like to state how creepy these eyeball guys are during the night. Right now, my new objective is to get diamonds. Yes, Minecraft diamonds. Why diamonds? Well, the problem with my sea truck is that it can only go 150 meters down, and that's not too good right now. So I want to get the MK1 upgrade for the sea truck so it can go all the way to 300 meters, but guess what? It costs diamonds. So where are diamonds? No, not at Y12. According to my chat, it's actually in this vault area. This vault area is right under Grandma's base. The problem is the diamonds are located around 300 meters, so that means I have to go way down. And going so deep is very scary because that means my sea truck is left behind. Luckily, there are these air bubbles all over the place, but I'm just scared of some sort of leviathan. I didn't find any diamonds yet, but I started finding some prawn suit fragments, which was great. This is like a Titan fall suit. And also Mr. Krabs, aka TBH honest. After a lot of swimming up and down, turns out diamonds are mostly on walls, if not ceilings, and I started finding diamonds left and right. After getting about 6 or 7 diamonds, I headed back home because it's time for a lot of upgrades. The first thing I wanted to make was a moon pool, but I didn't put my base in a really good location because I couldn't put it anywhere. I wanted to have a really big base, so I started relocating the old one by making another multi-purpose room, and then I attached the moon pool to that. The annoying part is that I'm gonna have to relocate everything in this base into the new one. It took some effort, but it's okay. It's not like I was lacking time or anything. Once I had everything, I put in the vehicle upgrade console so I could start upgrading my sea truck. The best part of this console is that now I can name my sea truck, so I named it the Sea Sock. I didn't have enough material for the MK1 depth upgrade, but I did have enough for this thermal blade, which I think is still one of the coolest upgrades. The knife automatically cooks food, and it's much stronger because I was able to take out this rat boy instantly. After a little more resource hunting, I finally had enough for the MK1 sea truck depth module. My sea sock will now be able to go 300 meters down, which is kind of ridiculous. But before we went out, I reminded myself to make that spy robot so we can get that fur from those furries in the North Pole. This thing actually looks pretty good. What the? The first test, though, is to see if this robot will blend in with his brothers and sisters. You can actually control this thing? It's like a drone. After a couple minutes, the adults suspect nothing. It said I was perfectly camouflaged within them. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to these penguins over here, wouldn't it? The adults don't even know. They didn't suspect a thing. From that successful experiment, we were able to add 2 more juniors to our collection. Anyway, you know how I said there are rooms bigger than the multi-purpose room? Well, there's a room called the large room. This room is absolutely ridiculous. It's not even a room anymore. It's an entire hotel. And of course I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it right on top of our base. I added some windows on the inside, and this thing is just crazy. Like, you don't even need this much room. Like, how many lockers could you fit in here? Or even better, how many of those penguin creatures could you put in there? Now that I had that spy robot, it was time to get some fur. I headed back to the North Pole, and for some reason, this time, it was nearly impossible to find one of those furries. I searched all day, and it wasn't until the nighttime when one of them crept onto me after attacking me. The thermal blade made it a lot easier to take him out, which was nice. And using the robot, I was able to collect the fur and almost infinite amount of it. Oh, and this is me, by the way. Turns out I'm a woman. I didn't even know. And since I was here, I decided to explore the rest of the caves. I ended up finding baby furries. I mean, they're the most adorable thing I've ever seen. You could pet them too, but I couldn't take them home, which was so sad. I even started finding some snow fox fragments, which was great because that means I can make this bicycle thing soon. When I got back home, the first thing I made was the cold suit, which was fantastic because now I didn't have to worry about the cold as much. I even had all the snow fox fragments, and I even wanted to build it, but it looks like it needed a magnetite, which I didn't have. That is a raw material I don't find for a while because it's way deep underwater. Anyway, now that I had the depth meter of 300 meters, I could go visit the pilot's last known location. It ended up taking me to an alien base. Turns out it is one of many alien artifacts that I'm actually going to find. But I actually wasn't supposed to go there. There's an alien base somewhere here, and I had to find it. While I was trying to find it, turns out you can actually pet these whale things. Kind of cool and freaky at the same time. After a lot of maneuvering left and right, there was these like little alien lights that I was supposed to follow. And voila, I actually made it to the first base in Subnautica Below Zero. And those creepy robot guys are back too. I made my way through and I found a giant talking cube. This alien, or the architect, is the guy that's been making all these crazy buildings everywhere. To sum it up, this alien guy needs a host to get out of this cube form, and he decided to transfer his conscience into me.
Transfer complete.
My character wasn't too happy that the alien transferred his mind into me, but I thought this was super cool, man. Now I'm like a super genius or something. And then he just started asking me questions about humans. It was like a computer trying to learn about human emotions. So it turns out he just wants me to start scanning some artifacts. And the first one is actually down here in the mine shaft. Also, I don't know if this is intentional, but you can barely fit this thing through these doors. You have to squeeze through the top. And I scanned the alien artifact that he wanted. Since I could go deeper now, there was extra prawn suit fragments that I could scan, and even the drill arm, so that means I can craft it. The next artifact he wanted me to scan was actually in Shrek's swamp, but this time I can actually go really deep, which is nice. And I even found all the laser cutter fragments, which is perfect because now I can cut through doors. After getting lost a little bit, I finally found what he needed. Another alien artifact. Or should I say architect artifact. So what's the next step? Well, I actually need to upgrade my sea truck again with a MK2 depth module so I can go even further than 300 meters. But to do that, I need gel sacks and rubies, and I have 0 gel sacks. Supposedly they're located in this deep ravine area, but that's when I came across this. What is that? What the?
What is that?
I don't know, man. You tell me. I thought I was dead. I thought he was gonna like suck me in and he was like a leviathan or something. Lesson learned, don't go near these moving plants. The good news was the gel sacks were here, so I can now upgrade. And guess what? Soxer1 was being smart. Instead of using them right away, I put some gardens on top and actually grew them so I could have a lot more. While I was waiting for those gel sacks to grow, I thought this would be a perfect time to go and check out the abandoned ship. And now that I have the laser cutter, I should be able to cut through. And what is that thing? It looks like it has an entire city inside of it. Well, spoilers, turns out there's gonna be a much bigger version of this guy that we're gonna see real soon. Well, time to invade this ship and see what we get. Good thing I brought the laser cutter because there was a lot of sealed doors. There was a lot of food and mostly metal scrap, which will be good when I need a lot of titanium. But that's when we found something cool. There were these like sealed off crate things. Well, that looks important. A processing unit fragment? I don't even know what this is. There were 3 in total, and we found another one in the engine room. Turns out those processing units are actually used to fix up that radar tower in that old woman's base. So it's something for the story, but we still need to find one more. We spent almost a whole 30 minutes in the ship, and turns out the third part is not even in the ship. Turns out it is in another broken down ship somewhere near it. After a little bit of searching, we found it, and we got the final part, which was perfect. It was sort of a new area, so I used this time to scan for more sea truck fragments. I even found another alien artifact unintentionally, like I wasn't even supposed to go here yet. I even found my first ion cube, which was nice. And guess what? Even though we're not in deep waters, there's leviathans here. I kind of want to see that leviathan. Kind of do, man. Do I just go there?
Alright, chilies.
I regret it! I didn't see!
Was that a little fly on?
Yeah, that was a leviathan.
Why is he red?
Well, I think it's a great time to go back home. The gel sacks were ready for harvesting, which was perfect. Bad news though, we were still missing one ingredient, and it was called a spiral plant. Where do we get a spiral plant? Well, funny you ask. You know those giant jellyfish that look like they have a city inside of them? Well, yeah, we have to go inside the jellyfish to go get it. And it wasn't just that normal sized jellyfish, it was enormous. I had to go inside this thing. It was called a vent garden. Are you out of your mind? Oh, and there was also leviathans just chilling all around the place. Subnautica, what were you thinking? This is nuts. I hope the jellyfish guy doesn't mind. I mean, we haven't even gone on our first date or anything. I'm just gonna go in and out, man. I'm just gonna grab what I need, the spiral little flowers, and I'm out of here. Before I left, since it was a new area, I thought it would be smart to at least discover what was beneath me. I went under the giant jellyfish, and there was a lot of new stuff, including a thermal plant that I never use. I didn't get anything too crazy there, except for some maybe PDAs that are important. Anyway, did I say that there was leviathans lurking around here?
I don't know. Why did you
These leviathans are horrifying. Yo, man. Oh my god. No, please, don't turn around again. Now that we had everything we needed, we could finally do it. The Sea Truck Depth Module MK2. We did it, boys. And since we had so many resources, I decided to make the prawn suit as well. Oh, how I missed you, prawn suit. We've been through so much together. Fighting ghost leviathans, it's been the best. Oh, wait a minute. Have they buffed this thing? He's extra snappy for some reason. With this newfound power, I spent literally the next hour just trying to get lead, because every single upgrade for some reason after this costs lead, and I had none. With this lead, I can craft what I want, like a MK1 depth module for my prawn suit, so now we can go up to 700 meters. I didn't stop there. I even started getting parts for my sea truck, like a docking module. I mean, I can't even see that's being crafted because it's a snowstorm. And I even made the fabricator module, which will allow me to craft in my sea truck. This is the coolest thing. You get these parts and you can attach it like a train. I even attached my prawn suit in the back, and look at this thing. The sea sock looks amazing. Now that we had a ready to go sea truck, it was time to move on to the next thing. And that was to go to the crystal caves. But before we can do that, I wanted to go to the North Pole real quick. I finished making the battery for the bridge part, so that means I can go to the other side. What is on the other side now? That's the question, right? Just lots and lots of snow. I decided it would be best if I made the snow fox before I went anywhere deeper in the snow area. I guess it's gonna be the crystal caves then, but I'm a little bit scared because supposedly there's another leviathan down here. I was getting scared. I've never been this deep before, and I already saw the purple crystals.
There is definitely a leviathan down here.
Nadway was playing this game as well, and he was having a great time. Oh, I see him! Oh my god! And that's when I saw him as well. I see him, I see him, I see him.
Why are we still here?
It didn't go very well. Ah! Oh my god, that's... what the? He's like eating me, man. This guy was way different from the Ghost Leviathan. He was way more aggressive. Like, if you weren't in his path, he was gonna attack. I tried to be smart by using the crystals as protection, but he really wanted those toes. Oh. The reason we were down here in the first place was for these kyanite crystals, because that's how we're gonna get MK3 upgrades. But it was really difficult not knowing when the Shadow Leviathan would attack. Get away! I didn't even see him, dude. I didn't even see him. And I had a really close encounter when I was trying to scan something when I was outside my prawn suit. It's safe to say that this is the scariest Leviathan in this game. After several jump scares, we were able to get the kyanite and even the copper, even though that was really hard to find. And I left. I had the materials I needed. I wasn't going back. Or at least that's what I thought. On my way out, I found another base, which was interesting because I thought I unlocked everything. Turns out this was the base of the woman because her prawn suit was there in the moon pool. Of course, I have to go inside, right? I wonder if she's there. Anyone in here? Oh! Doggo gave us a warm welcome. We had a long talk. It was basically to prove that I wasn't Altera, and she wants me to fix the radio tower, which I can now because I got those 3 things from that ship. Also, I just got this cool sea truck upgrade that allows me to zap things. And turns out you can make the entire roof of the large room glass. I need to make that. Now that we're back home, we can finally make the MK3 upgrade for our sea sock and an MK2 upgrade for our prawn suit. This means we can go over 1,000 meters down, which is ridiculous. And to top it off, we have enough materials to make the snow fox. But you have to make that with the habitat builder, so I decided to build it at the land area. And yo, it literally is a motorcycle. This is so sick. It was quite hard to control, but for some reason it's giving me some serious Tron vibes. I guess it's time to explore the North Pole. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, I could tell you what could go wrong. No one told me there could be a leviathan that goes on land. Oh! What?
Okay.
They call this thing an ice worm. That is no worm. That is literally a building. And this Leviathan is restless. He will never stop to get you. I hear him! Oh! Get on! What are you doing? Oh, where is he? Oh! Oh! After an entire hour of screaming frantically, I found absolutely nothing. I'm going back home. I don't know what I'm supposed to do out here yet. For now, we're gonna go back to the story and fix the radar tower or sonar tower. I don't know, the building. We put in the device, and supposedly this just makes it so Altera can't watch us anymore. I mean, that's what the lady wanted. And the old lady was very happy about this, and she wanted to meet up and give us a gift. That gift better be some sort of laser rifle or something to take out that Shadow Leviathan, or give me your prawn suit, because that thing's amazing. She gave me plants. Different kinds of plants. Well, I guess it's back to hunting down alien artifacts. This was the last alien artifact that I needed to scan because now he said I can craft his body. Because right now, the so-called architect is living inside my body, but our mission is to make a body for him so he doesn't need to stay with us anymore. And we can do that now, and the first step is to find his organs, and that is back in the Crystal Cave. I studied the routes of the Shadow Leviathan, so I was able to sort of avoid him the entire time. And now that I can go even deeper, right in the middle of the purple purple cave is this circle of purple crystals. And if I go inside, I can even go deeper underwater. The whole thing looks pretty beautiful. Down here is supposedly another alien base, and this is where I'm gonna find the first part of the architect's body. And we found the first component of the architect's body, his like inner organs. And now that we have that, we can craft it. I mean, we are literally creating life. At the very edge of the crystal cave is another area, like a red biome. This place was called the Fabricator Caverns, and it looked even scarier than Crystal Cave. Somewhere down here is another alien base where I can craft the architect and put him all together. What people didn't tell me was that there was another shadow leviathan down here, and I got out of my sea sock. Oh, no, not storage. I clicked the wrong button and I nearly died. That would have been my first death in Subnautica Below Zero. That's scary. I had to find the secret alien base while dealing with the Shadow Leviathan the entire time, and it was a bit of a nightmare. After a bit of searching, I finally found it. It was like inside one of the red crystals. The inside was really cool. There was some sort of shark tank in the middle, and there was all these like lab stuff all around. And what I could do down here was craft the architect's organs. It was a bit creepy, but there were still 2 more things that I needed to craft so he could have a full-on body. It's time to leave and hunt down the rest of his body parts and get the resources for them. It's a little bit easier to get resources now, especially with the prawn suit, because we can just get these large deposits. We got the materials, we just need to find the other architect body parts, and one of them is under the old woman's base. It's in this sort of lava zone, and we just have to find these alien pedestals like that one and just follow them. It took me to another alien base, and this was beautiful. It had all these plants and water and yeah, bones on the ground. And that's what we needed. These were the architect's bones. We got 2 parts down, and the final one is in the North Pole, so that means we have to go all the way back there. But before I went, not only can you pet these whales, you can also ride them, and this is completely wild. Anyway, we are on to our final architect component. Hopefully we don't get lost in the snow again. And we still have to deal with Mr. Iceworm. He doesn't make this any easier. After a long search and a lot of help from Nadway, we finally found the secret alien base. This one was really glowy and sort of looked like a mine shaft. We found the component we needed crushed under all this rubble. It looked like an arm claw, but supposedly it's his tissue. We now have all 3 components, and we can now build the architect. We will be able to see him with our own eyes. I find this kind of mind-blowing that we're gonna see the architect, but we still have to make our way all the way back to the crystal caves. After a solid 10 minutes of panicking, we finally made it to the red zone. Oh, and it turns out that shock upgrade that we got from the lady is really useful. You can just shock off the Leviathan. It's amazing. But now it's time to build the architect. Hopefully he doesn't turn out to be a bad guy or something. I was nervous and excited at the same time. This all looked really cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but supposedly this is the guy that released the Kara bacterium in the first place and caused the panic in the species as all of them got wiped out from this bacteria.
Did you cause the accident?
But now they have a cure because of the first Subnautica game when the Sea Emperor released like all her babies that had the cure and stuff. And now this guy wants to go back to his people and try to save them all. I mean, that's what I get from my understanding. But look at this guy. What an absolute unit. What if instead of transferring the architect's mind back, I transfer Junior's mind into that thing? Well, it's time to put the architect in his actual body. Yo, this guy's insane. You know who he looks like? He looks like Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man. And in this form, he still needs my help. He wants me to activate a teleporter back at that snow base area. Well, good thing he's not a bad guy. I mean, I tried to take him out with my knife, but that didn't do anything. Now that we revived the architect, we have to go all the way back to the North Pole and relight that gate that we saw earlier. Never mind, there's a whole new other alien base over here. He's doing a lot of fancy clicking, and he's just preparing his way to go back home. And this is it. We're gonna walk through the gate and see his homeland. But before I show you guys the ending, I still had like 2 hours left, so I'm gonna show you what I did there before I show you guys the ending. So what did I do in these 2 hours before finishing the game? I made the biggest gel sack farm you have ever seen in your entire life. I used those gel sacks to fuel my bioreactors in my large room. I'm not joking. I made like the most ultimate bioreactor room with even indoor plants. I even made a whole nother large room and made the roof all glass. That was expensive, but it looks so good. And then because I'm sort of insane, I started fighting a Leviathan because why not? I mean, I've been playing for like 22 hours straight. I'm going insane. I didn't even end it there. It turns out there's a giant frozen Leviathan somewhere in this ice. And in my last couple minutes of my stream, I found it. This thing was completely ridiculous. I would be completely horrified if this was a living creature I had to go up against. Not only could it swim in water, it would also walk on land. I guess it's time for me to show you guys the ending, right? It is time. We are walking through the magic portal portal. Where are we being taken to? I thought this was it. This was his home planet, but turns out this was just the warp gate to his actual home base.
Whoa, bro, that is huge. That is very intimidating.
That is one really big gate, and he needs my help to get it running. He gave me his robotic arms. I had to move these giant rocks into place using like my telekinesis powers. It was pretty cool. I mean, I nearly died doing it, but it was pretty cool. It was finally time to go. My man started turning into a spaceship. Seriously, he might be a transformer. He just turned into a spaceship. I was questioning to see if we were gonna go see his hometown or if it was just gonna cut off right now, but it looked like we were going there. And then credit scene. Whoa! That's so sick. Whoa! Oh, that's all that's left of this planet. A meteor. Oh! Wait, are we actually gonna find out what's on this planet? Oh, that looks... It's literally cities from the future.
And if they survived?
Oh, I'm a
Matrix?
little behind.
With you,
The
I am
meteors
ready
just
to
hit each
face
other.
whatever awaits.
Going through another portal.
All right, and it's right there. Right? Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, you earned yourself 24 gold stars. And if you want to see more Subnautica, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.